So here's the benefit of building with all cash. If you build with all cash, then when it's done, you can get an appraisal on it and you can pull the equity out up to 80% of the appraisal. Maybe more, depending on what bank you're dealing with. So if you go out and get a construction loan, they're gonna give you the construction loan and they're gonna tell you they're not gonna refinance it for 12 months. So then you gotta sit on that money for 12 months. If we build with all cash, we don't have to wait the 12 months.
You can do it
We can pull it out
once you get to a certain amount of residence.
Yep.
And then, well, if you're paying all cash for it, then you don't already have a mortgage on that.
Yeah, there's nothing over.
And when you pull a refi on that, are you now paying a mortgage off of what you pulled off?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that'll be laid out in here. This is what we're planning on doing. We're planning on the apartment complex will be worth $15 million. Maybe we're gonna pull $10 million out, $12 million out, whatever makes it. It's got a cash flow. It needs to still operate on its own with no problem. And then you pull that equity out, and maybe the investors gave you may return their total investment plus another 30% for the usage of their money for 2.5 years, 3 years. So they may average only 10% a year on the money they had out there. But now they got it all back. And they still own the same percentage of the deal that they owned before.
They also got their money back.
Mm-hmm.
So when you refi, you're now paying a mortgage off of that appreciation, everything that the bank has now valued it as, which is more than how much money you put into it.
Yeah.
You pull out that equity. You're now paying a mortgage on that equity. But that equity goes and pays off the investors instantly, and then they can leave.
Yeah, we pay the investors off. That's our goal, is to pull out enough money to pay the investors off and give them a little bit of return on investment. Mm-hmm. We may be talking to them in the beginning and saying, look, we're only looking at maybe being able to pull you 5%, give you 5% year over year return on your money, but all your investment back and you're still on the deal. So we want to under promise and overperform. So we want to tell them 5% or something like that right there. Nothing is a guarantee. They never guaranteed 5%. This is what we're saying our target is. Mm-hmm. But our real target in the back may be to return them all of their money plus another 30%. Now they're paid. Now, they would get quarterly draws or semi-annual draws off of the profits of the business, but the profits are going to be small because we're going to pull enough cash out that the profits are going to be small until we do rent increases. So you do rent increases this year, you do rent increases next year, rent increases the year after right there. Now you can pull more money out because every time you do a rent increase, it makes the apartment complex worth more money.
Every time you pull money out, it's now worth more?
Every time you increase the rents.
Yeah. And then you can pull the equity out of that because you have a new income level,
yeah,
and that's a new value.
Yeah, and that's just what everybody wants to, what they want. You can talk to them 5 years down the road. You may have had some good appreciation in the property, and they may say, hey, we just want out, we want to sell. Then we could have an option and say, okay, we'll buy you out because we don't want to sell, so maybe buy the investor out. Or if enough investors want to sell, you just got to sell the project. And that's what it is.